Hello everyone. In this lecture I will be discussing with you about common base characteristics, common base CB characteristics of transistor. Now you are now familiar with the common emitter characteristics from the last lecture. We will now see the common base characteristics. And what is common base configuration? You know, the base is common to collector and emitter. At the input side it is common to emitter, and at the output side it is common to collector, and base is grounded. It is alternately called grounded base configuration. So the input obviously common emitter characteristics, the static characteristics of common base is divided in two types: input characteristics and output characteristics. So first let us see input characteristics. The input characteristics means it is the plot of input current versus your input voltage. You know, the input current is the emitter current. In case of common base characteristics, you know that IE, emitter current, this is the input current, and input voltage is input current versus input voltage, that is the input characteristics. What is input voltage in common base configuration? It is emitter base voltage, VEB, emitter base voltage. So it is the plot between these two to get the input characteristics. But you know there is a third parameter whose value is important for this plot, and that is for input characteristics is the output voltage. It is the parameter for this plot. For different parametric values we should get the family of curves or family of plots. And in this case the output voltage for common base configuration is collector base voltage, VCB, collector base voltage. So how the input characteristics will look like? It is in the x-axis VEB is plotted in volts, and in the y-axis emitter current IE is plotted in milliampere. So if we plot these two taking VCB as the parameter, that means its value will change horizontally, and accordingly we should get the family of curves for input characteristics. Now let us see how the curve will look like. In the normal operation of transistor, you know the emitter base junction is forward biased. So the emitter current variation to emitter base voltage, because it is the plot of emitter current variation with emitter to base voltage, and if this junction is forward biased, that means the characteristic curve will look like the forward characteristics of a PN junction diode. So obviously the characteristic will look like this, where this voltage you know is the cut-in voltage, and this curve will be obtained for a particular value of VCB as parameter. Now if we want to get the family of curves, that is something like this, something may be like this, one may be like this, another like this, and so on. So if we consider this now as VCB1, this as VCB2, this is now VCB3, this is VCB4, and the last one is VCB5. So by varying the VCB parameter, the collector to base voltage, that is the output voltage, we can get the family of curves in input characteristics. That means for variation of VCB, the IE value will change, and accordingly these curves will move horizontally to the right and to the left based on some input cut-in voltage. This voltage may be a same point or may be a different point very close to each other. These points may be, this cut-in voltage for different curves may be different, but they are very close to each other. Now let us see in which direction VCB increases, whether it is towards the right or towards the left, so that this family of curves may be obtained and how that can be explained physically. So let us suppose we are increasing VCB. So the increase in the magnitude of VCB collector to base voltage, what it will mean? It will mean that we are increasing the reverse bias of collector base junction in the normal operation of the transistor. And as the reverse bias is increased for a junction, you know the depletion layer width will be increased. And if the depletion layer width of the collector base junction is increased, that means the base width, the effective base width of the base region of the transistor, if we draw the diagram once again, this is JCB, collector base junction, and this junction is reverse bias. So that means, suppose this is an NPN BJT, this side is emitter, this side is base, and this side is collector. So if we now increase this junction voltage or this reverse bias, that is VCB, or rather we can say mod VCB, whatever, we are increasing this parameter VCB. That means already for reverse bias there will be a depletion layer of finite width from the beginning. Now if we increase this VCB, mod VCB value, that means if we increase the reverse bias across the junction, collector base junction, this depletion layer width will now increase. That means it will extend into the base width. So previously it was here, and now it is extended towards this side. That means it will encroach more towards the base area. So as a result of that, previously this much was the effective base width, but now because of encroachment of depletion layer into the base area, the effective base width will now become shorter from the previous one. So what does it mean? It means this phenomena is called early effect. I have already mentioned about this term. That means increasing of depletion layer at the reverse bias junction due to the increase of biasing voltage, reverse biasing voltage, the effective reduction of base width is called early effect. As a result of this effect, what does it mean? The concentration gradient of the injected majority carriers in the base region will be increased. I repeat, the concentration gradient, because if the area is lesser, that means the volume will become lesser. So at a less area or less volume, more number of majority carriers will be accommodated. So if more number of majority carriers injected from the N side, that means the electrons are to be accommodated in a lesser area, that means the concentration gradient at the base region will be increased. So the if the concentration gradient if it is increased, that means the more diffusion of the majority carriers will come from the emitter side, so more and more electrons will want to go inside this, so the diffusion current will be increased. So the injected majority carrier current across the emitter junction, we may say that it will be proportional to the gradient of the hole concentration, because the diffusion will absolutely depend on the gradient of the majority carrier concentration. Whatever, in case of NPN it is electrons, and in case of PNP it is hole that is being injected from the emitter side. So the concentration gradient will indicate how much diffusion will be further possible or happen. So we can say the majority carriers, those travel across the base region by diffusion, and the diffusion current will be proportional to this concentration gradient. So an increase in emitter current will be observed with the increase of this reverse bias or VCB voltage. Okay, so what does it mean? That means more and more injection will occur from the emitter side into the base side, and that's why it will indicate that the emitter current will increase. So finally what we can say, the more is the reverse bias voltage across the collector base junction, more will be the emitter current in this case. So if we increase this VCB in that direction, where it will increase the emitter current, and we can see that emitter current is increases towards the left. That means the family of curves will be shifted towards the left as emitter current is increased. So we can say towards the left VCB is increased and towards the right VCB is decreased. So this voltage at the rightmost part, that is VCB1, if we consider this as 0 volt, then VCB2 maybe it is minus 2 volt, VCB3 maybe it is minus 3 volt, VCB4 maybe it is minus 10 volt, and VCB5 maybe it is minus 20 volt. So what we can see, minus means reverse bias. So as we are going on increasing the reverse bias of collector base junction, the family of curves are being shifted towards the left. It will indicate, it will establish that emitter current is increased. That means it will allow the BJT to conduct the emitter current more early, more faster, more quickly, as we are going on increasing the collector base reverse bias voltage. So this is called the early effect. That means we are allowing the BJT to conduct early by the increase of emitter current due to the application of more and more reverse bias across the collector base junction. So this is the effect of early effect phenomena on the operation of the BJT in common base input characteristics. So we can finally say that the existence of a cut-in voltage will allow the emitter base junction diode to conduct from a certain value, which is shown here in this point, and which is typically 0.5 volt for silicon transistor and 0.1 volt for a germanium transistor in this case. So this is all about the input characteristics. Now let us move on to the output characteristics. In output characteristics, you know, output characteristics means it is the plot of output voltage versus output current. Output voltage versus output current with input current as the parameter. This is the rule. So for common base mode, collector current is the output, so output current is IC, and collector to base voltage VCB is the output voltage, and the emitter current is the input current, that is IE. So it is a plot of IC versus VCB with emitter current IE as the parameter to find the output characteristics in common base mode of operation. And you now you already know from the common emitter output characteristics that primarily the region is divided in 4: active region, saturation region, cutoff region, and breakdown region. But breakdown region is not much used and generally unintended, so that is quite explicitly excluded from the discussion. So primarily the region of operation will be 3. One is active, another is saturation, and another one is cutoff. So let us first draw the output characteristics. So here it is VCB, collector to base voltage along the x-axis, output voltage, and output current is IC, collector current, expressed in milliampere, and IE, input current, emitter current is the parameter. So how this characteristic will look like? Obviously it will be something like this. Now if we vary IE for different set of IE values, we should get the different family of curves. It will slightly go upward. So this is IE1, IE2 suppose, this is IE3, and this is IE4. So for different set of IE values, we should get the family of curves for output characteristics. Now let us find which one is the active region and at which direction, upper or lower, upward or downward, IE is increased or decreased. So now for normal operating mode of transistor, when used as an amplifier, we need to work the transistor in this active region for amplification purpose, you know. So when the emitter current is zero, that means the this value, input current, when the emitter current is zero, the collector current is the reverse saturation current, ICO. When emitter current can be zero, when the base emitter junction is not properly applied with forward bias. That means if emitter current is zero, means there will be no injection of majority carriers from the emitter side into the collector. So as a result of that, there will be no question of generation of collector current, and a small collector current will still flow because of the reverse bias in the collector base junction, and that will be called the reverse saturation current, ICO. This this knowledge you are already having. The magnitude of this current is in the microampere range, you know, and or in nanoampere range in some cases also. So now when the emitter base junction is forward biased and the emitter current and is IE, that means now if the junction is made forward biased and IC is supposed to be flown, the collector current will be minus alpha IE, you know from the relations, plus the ICO from the current equation. That means ICO will remain as it is when IE equal to 0, but when forward bias is applied, IE will be of a certain appreciable value, and that will generate IC based on the given alpha for the transistor. So in the active region, the collector current is almost, we are seeing that the collector current is almost independent of collector to base voltage. That means the characteristic curve is almost parallel to the voltage axis. So we can say that for all the cases, for all the different values of IE, IC is independent of VCB. So it depends only on the emitter current. The relation IC is nothing but a function of I, and this function is nothing but the alpha. You know that. So due to the early effect, still there is a small rise in magnitude of collector current with the increase in magnitude of VCB. But if we have seen in the during the discussion of input characteristics, still although it is parallel to the voltage axis and IC is independent of VCB, but still due to the early effect, if VCB is still being increased, there is some chance of effective reduction of base width, that is the increase of the depletion layer width for VCB is being increased. So it does mean that for a small rise in the magnitude of collector current will be there with the increase of VCB because of that early effect. Now since alpha is almost equal to 1, you have seen that, and ICO part is very small in the equation because of its it is actually the leakage current. So the magnitude of collector current will be only slightly less than the emitter current as per the general current equation, IC is equal to alpha IE minus alpha IE plus ICO. This is very small. This alpha is almost equal to unity, so we can say that IC and IE are almost equal, and IC is slightly less than IE because of alpha being a fraction, a little fraction less than unity, little less than unity. So in the active region of the output characteristics, we will be observing parallel lines equally spaced like this for equal increments of emitter current. So if we increase the emitter current, suppose this is 0, this is for 10 milliampere, this is for 20 milliampere, this is for 40 milliampere. So if we go on increase the emitter current, we will be getting equally spaced family of parallel curves parallel to this voltage axis also. So this region will be primarily called the active region in this case for common base mode of operation. Now let us see which part is the saturation region in this characteristic. This saturation region of operation will occur when both the junctions are forward biased. You know that from the common emitter characteristic, the saturation region is observed to be seen at this place, like we have seen in common emitter configuration. So this is the saturation region. So it is seen to be located to the left of the line VCB equal to 0. Now this is VCB, this is VCB. If it is approximately equal to 0, that means when the VCB is very near to the origin, to the left of that point, that means almost it is towards the second quadrant of this characteristic curve. That means here actually, and above the output characteristic of IE equal to 0. IE equal to 0 means it is the region over here. Over this region, this IE equal to 0. So over this region and to the left of this VCB equal to 0 line, suppose VCB equal to 0 line is almost the current axis, this axis. So this axis and this characteristic curve representing IE equal to 0 will be indicating the saturation region, which will lie to the left of these two values. That means VCB equal to 0 and IE equal to 0. So primarily, almost in the second quadrant, the saturation region will lie. But that should not happen to be, because there is no question of operation in the second quadrant for transistor. So we can say that this VCE will be not ideally equal to 0, but it will be approximately equal to 0, and that's why we can say that the saturation region will actually lie very close to this current axis or y axis. So this initial area, this area marked with, this is the area that is marked with the saturation region. Now when VCB is slightly positive, that means VCB is little bit positive and going towards this right direction, the collector base junction becomes forward biased, because you know at the left side, in this side, the VCB will be decreased and more reverse bias will be applied. But for saturation region of operation, you know, you need both the junctions to be forward biased. So if we now move on increasing the VCB towards the right direction, that means it will make the collector base junction forward bias. So this will result an exponential variation in the collector current with the collector to base forward voltage, and it will account for a large change in the collector current with VCB in the saturation region. So this is because a forward bias in the collector to base junction means it will make the collector positive with respect to base, and this will give rise to a majority carrier current flowing from collector to the base opposite in direction to the original flow of carriers due to the transistor action. Now when this become very large in magnitude, then the current due to transistor action will get a positive value of IC. So we can say in the saturation region, due to the forward biasing of collector base junction, it will account for large change of collector current, and even the collector current may become positive. So this is the way of working at the saturation region by these characteristics. And now let us discuss what about the cutoff region. The region to the right of the line VCB, we have seen that the saturation region is primarily to the left of the line VCB equal to 0. So VCB equal to 0 is the boundary. So if we now go on to the right of the VCB equal to 0, this side, then, and below the characteristics we have marked with IE equal to 0, that means the emitter current equal to 0 is the cutoff region. So this shaded portion is nothing but the cutoff region. That means when the input current set as parameter is 0, that means when input current can be 0, when the base emitter junction is reverse biased. So for cutoff region, you know, both the junctions should be reverse biased. So for IE equal to 0, it is establishing that the base emitter junction is reverse biased, and also the collector base junction is also should be reverse biased. That means the cutoff region will lie below this IE equal to 0 curve and to the right of VCB equal to 0. But VCB should not be that much more higher, because if VCB is getting higher, that means the collector will once again become much positive than base, and it may there may be a chance that it may go into the saturation once again. So the cutoff region will be very near to this line VCB equal to 0, but it will lie to the right of this line VCB equal to 0. So this is all about the discussion about the input and output static characteristics of transistor in common base mode.